But here we are now in the
Holy
pre-show. What happened?
I'm just looking over the dock.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. We're now in the pre-show though, and now you can say hello to everyone that's in the chat.
I don't think I will.
Okay.
I think I've said all I need to say already.
Said all he needs to say. You know what? Hello, Kirik. Welcome to the Twitch chat. You are first. And I just want to point out, Kirik, he says that everyone, loves him and has been waiting for him, but he doesn't love you enough to have his camera on this week. So
That's right.
Instead, you get to watch a clear background with his name under it. Or above it, I mean.
You know what?
What?
That's all. Kirik understands, first of all, that the life of fortune and fame sometimes it gets to you. It gets to be overbearing. This is why celebrities will go with wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses. This is my version of that. I just gotta take a break every now and again. I know you wouldn't get that, but that's
fortune.
That's where we're at.
Fortune and fame. Where's the fortune and where is the fame?
See, that's the type of comments I like to see, Kirik. Hell yeah.
Hello, who?
Why don't you go ahead and read that one out loud?
He said, hello, who? Gage? If he had his camera on, I'd melt from his masculine hotness. All right, Kirik. All right, Kirik. You know what? This is the last straw, I mean, at this point. Oh, sheesh. We may be joined by Ro later. He is with his grandmother. He is keeping an eye on her. He's the only one at home right now, but he may join later. We shall see. Oh, he said, actually, correction, his Canadian masculine hotness. Well,
there it is.
Yeah, some would say some would say that Canadians are actually bad. I've heard a few times, 5 or 6 times, Canadians are bad, very bad for this country. Let's make Podcast PXN great again. Anyways.
Very nasty, nasty Canadians.
Nasty gosh. Gosh. I was trying to come up with a way to mess up your name. And
instead you just screamed.
Gosh. The VGA nominees, huh? Yes. Yeah, Kirik. That probably could have been the topic of the show this week if we didn't have 3 weeks of news to cover. But I think next week we're gonna do VGA stuff. This week we have 3 weeks of news to cover because 2 weeks ago when we were last on, we didn't even get to the news stories then because me and Gage just rambled on and on about Arc Raiders the entire episode. So
we probably will be touching on the I would imagine that we're going to talk about the Valve hardware.
Oh yeah, it's on here. It's on here. Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't you worry, Kirik. I would not let us not. There is zero chance that we're not going to talk about it. I am very, very excited as well.
Okay, that was a weird way to put it. I get what you. Yeah, 0% chance that we're not gonna. Double negative is a weird way to go about that.
Double negative. I like to make sure that your brain is still working, that you're still able to suss these things out. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what?
It's like every Wednesday is a Alzheimer's stress test for you.
Okay.
Just to make sure that.
All right. Yeah. And you know what? You know what I say to that? There's a 0% chance that it's 100% chance that I'm starting the episode right now.
You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering a player experience news.
Let's go. What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 314. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on, yes, still Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the resident Embark Glazer and my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster, at Gilbo Biggins.
Reporting for duty, sir. Also ready to glaze.
Glaze on, soldier. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week is our massive amount of backlog of news. Of course, we've had 3 weeks of news that we have to cover. 2 weeks ago was our last episode, and Gage and I just rambled on about Arc Raiders the entire episode. So we didn't even get to news that week. We were out last week due to my employer needing me to stay after hours last week. But we are back this week with a vengeance. All right. You ready to dive in, Gage, to all these stories?
I am fucking ready to go.
Ready to go. All right. So we're going to break it down by week. So week 1 will mean essentially the stories we should have covered 2 weeks ago. And we ran out of time for. Taylor Sheridan and Peter Berg have been announced to be developing the live-action Call of Duty movie. Sheridan, most famously, I guess, of Sicario, will co-write the film, and Berg, most popularly, I was trying to think of another way to put it to make it sound smart, but I couldn't think of anything, so I made up the word popularly.
For.
Yeah, I know. I just said that, though, like for the first person, so I was like, how can I create another word? But then I just made up a word, so yeah, Deepwater Horizon was his claim to fame, and he will direct. That is from Deadline.
You know what? That could be something fun. It could be something fun. Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, Sicario. Both of these guys have a lot of good movies under their belts, so this could be fun.
Well, then there's always a first for a bad one.
That's true.
Kirk, I have work from home to do, but you know what? Fuck it. You know what? You're right. This is PXN time. Your light came on. If it's working again, I don't know if it's working yet again, but okay. Moving on here, we have some Rockstar news, and not the one that you're thinking of just yet. That'll be a little later. Rockstar has reportedly fired between 30 to 40 employees, with some claiming it is a move to union bust. So the developer of GTA 6, of course, reportedly fired between 30 and 40 employees in a move that the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain is claiming was blatant and ruthless union busting. So not good. Take-Two responded and essentially said that they were fired for gross misconduct. But I don't know. Seemingly doesn't seem to add up very, very well for them.
No, and I mean you can only take this stuff with a grain of salt, but I did see in one of the, I don't know if it was the Rockstar subreddit or if it was the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, I don't know, but one of them, a Rockstar, somebody who is claiming to be a Rockstar employee that still works there, came forward and, like, again, I don't know if it's true or not, but said that they verified their identity to the mods, and the mods were like, yeah, this person is legit. They were saying that, like, Rockstar has refused to give anybody any evidence when they asked for, like, hey, can you pull up the things that they shared that they weren't supposed to share? I guess the people, as they were being fired, they asked to see, like, proof of, like, what the things that they were sharing that they weren't allowed to share were, and Rockstar was refusing to give them any sort of receipts. So, I mean, my sniffer is telling me that this probably is a union busting move. I sincerely doubt that this close to the finish line, some of these 30 to 40 employees that some of them have been there for a while. Are because Rockstar is positioning it as if they were sharing like things about the game. But like I said, I feel like this is more so to do with anti-union sort of behavior, where these people were maybe organizing and talking about getting together and forming a union, and Rockstar didn't like it. That's my hunch, but obviously we have no way to know that for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Hopefully it's not true, but it does seem to indicate that it is.
Right. And Rockstar, as we know, has a a long tenured history with not great work life balances, and maybe dictating unrealistic expectations from employees. So it's kind of on them to prove that they're not doing some shit.
Right. Not good. Nintendo Switch 2, Gage, has sold 10.36 million units as of the end of September, with 20.62 million software units sold. Pretty good numbers, considering the amount of consoles sold. That's like a 2-to-1 ratio for software to hardware, which is very good. Off to a very strong start for the Switch 2 that just came out, not 5-6 months ago.
Crazy.
Yeah, especially with the price. I mean, that price isn't cheap.
Right.
They did also give some hardware numbers for the original Switch, which is up to 154 million units sold, with 1.4 million units of 1,452 million units. So 1.4 billion units. Sorry, that's a much better number of software sold for that console as well. And then we have some information on a couple of games that released at the launch of the Switch 2. Mario Kart World sold 9.57 million units, which is insane. That's almost a 1-to-1 to the console sales. Mario Kart's still out there selling well. And then Donkey Kong Bonanza sold a whopping 3.49 million units. All right. Keep rolling on the Nintendo train here. We got a new Metroid Prime 4 trailer for Nintendo Switch 2. It gives us a look at the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game. It looks pretty good. I've seen a lot of people really hyped about this, and as someone who never really played the Metroid games, this does look like a really fun first-person shooter, action-y first-person shooter, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I also have kind of slept on the Metroid series, so I can't say I'm super hyped for it personally, but it does. My ears did perk up a little bit when I was watching the trailer, where I was like, "Oh, this might be something I can get into," but also not anytime soon because I'm not getting the Switch 2.
That's fair. A PS5 and PC cross-buy option has been discovered. This comes from Tom Henderson. News first broke on November 4th that new symbols had been discovered in the PlayStation Store's files. The initial findings came from X account Amethyst. They said new symbols will be added soon on the website and tool, but here are some nice new features from PlayStation. Yes, some are old, others are unseen. A kind of echo mode, PS5, PC games, and cross-buy. The message also shows the symbols, what they look like, and they all seem very much real. Now, this isn't any confirmation. It could just be Sony, I don't know, coming up with ideas for the future, maybe. But with how gaming seems to be going lately, seems like maybe a team up with PC in the future is not out of the cards for PlayStation.
Yeah, I thought people kind of had a weird knee-jerk reaction to this, where they're like, "Oh, it must not be anything. Like, it can't be what it means," or like this would, like. I don't think this indicates that like PS5 is going to do some sort of like, oh, if you buy it on PS5, you also get it on Steam. More likely is that this just means that they're fooling around with maybe doing like the proper launcher or something, which I think is not out of the question because people are asking for day and date PC. And if I was PlayStation and I was as greedy as they are, I'd be like, okay, how do we entertain the idea of giving people what they want without giving Steam what they want? And then, in my mind, you connect those dots and it's like, okay, well, maybe they're just kind of toying around with the idea of doing a PlayStation launcher for PC, similar to what Xbox has. Which in that case, I could see them doing something like a cross buy because then they're keeping all that revenue in house, so to speak.
For sure, yeah. And I feel like eventually, like we're getting to that point where people are like, well, why do I even need to own a console if the Steam machines and that kind of stuff exists where it makes PC gaming a lot more accessible, and the rumored next-gen Xbox that seems to be doing the same thing. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Battlefield 6 developers are tinkering with aim assist on controller. I guess they've already done this at this point because this was multiple weeks ago. But they're apparently reverting aim assist settings, and as PC players are editing files to turn off cross-play. Essentially, people are upset with how much stickiness, I guess, was aim assist was causing, and they're reverting it back to open beta controller aim assist settings, as they announced in a Twitter post 2 weeks ago. It's a major change, especially for those on console, that fans have pleaded for since Battlefield 6 launched. So a little bit nice of a change there. And they also announced a major overhaul of challenges and assignments with substantial adjustments across the board. Just to briefly touch on this, this is similar to like our conversation we had about this when the game came out, and one of my issues was that it seemed like they were doing something very similar to what 343 did on Halo Infinite at launch, which is make these very specific challenges that you have to do these very specific things, and I hated that because it forced you into a certain play style or for a certain map or whatever. So it seems like they're doing almost the exact same thing that 343 did after people didn't like that on challenges on there, and basically making it more general challenges for the most part.
Right.
So. All right. Our last item for week 1 of our missed news. Obsidian wants to keep cooking on original IP despite fan interest in a Fallout New Vegas 2. Obsidian knows whenever it announces a new game that everyone's going to ask about Fallout New Vegas 2, but they just love making original IP too much. Exact quote from them. I know everyone on the internet, on every game we ever announce, will constantly reference back to what's the next New Vegas or what's the next whatever. But this year, in addition to it being a celebration of shipping 3 games, all 3 of those games are IP we've created and that are Obsidian IP. Our history prior to the Microsoft acquisition really was surrounding around working others' IPs. And this is the joy that we get of. How do we start to define our own, and how do we build our own IP? And we've got to the part where we have sequels to all of them. All of them are sequels to the IP that we created. So that's awesome, Obsidian. I'm fucking super jazzed for you guys. I love Outer Worlds. I love Outer Worlds 2. But fucking make Fallout New Vegas 2 or a spinoff of Fallout, please.
Please. Yeah, this is you summed it up perfectly, where it's like, really happy for you guys. I love that everything's going your way, but please, for the love of God, I can't help but feel like, and maybe it'll be a cold splash of water on our face. Maybe if it does happen, it won't be that great, but there's just something about New Vegas that is such a perfect Western RPG that, man, yeah, I mean, I will happily check out all the stuff you make. Grounded was really cool. Pentiment got a lot of buzz. Obviously, people love the Outer Worlds, but man, I would love a Fallout. Not even just New Vegas too, like New Orleans or something. Do like just do like a spin-off. Do your own thing, which might be like meeting in the middle. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, obviously the team should do what the team wants to do, but I'm praying that somebody on that team wants to do New Vegas too.
Yeah, agreed. I would love that. Love that. Glenn's asking in the YouTube chat, is Dan the future of gaming, and is Call of Duty Zombies the future of gaming? I'm going to say probably no to both of those. I appreciate the love, though, Glenn. I haven't even played the new Zombies. Is it even good? I don't know.
It's good. It's exactly what you expect, but it's good.
Gage has played it, huh? There's a little sneak peek.
That's true.
All right, on to our week 2 news that we were going to talk about last week if we had an episode, but alas, we didn't have an episode. So here we go. We're jumping right into the biggest news story of the week, arguably the biggest news story. There's obviously a lot of others, but Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed to November 19th, 2026, and Dan would just like to say thank you very much for me predicting it exactly as it happened, and here it is, another delay, and it is exactly 1 year from today's date, November 19th.
Yeah, well, I don't really want to say anything because I was told that if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. So,
Rockstar said, "We're sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. We want to thank you again for your patience and support. While the wait is a little longer, we are incredibly excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Leonida and a return to modern-day Vice City. Sincerely, Rockstar Games." We're excited to come back to Vice City.
And unfortunately, the boring answer is like, yeah, take all the time you need, but goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, this is
to play this.
This is the second time that we've gotten to like a year away from the release date and then they delay it.
They love doing that. They love doing that.
Yep. All right. Our next story is another delay, which is Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra has been delayed beyond early 2026. With that wording, I'm thinking this game is not even coming in 2026. It's coming probably 2027 at the earliest.
Can I tell you something, Dan? Actually, I don't want to manifest. Never mind. I don't want to manifest it.
Say it.
I don't think this game's coming out at all.
You don't think? Oh no! So Amy Hennig's gonna get another canceled game under her belt?
Yeah, and then she's gonna leave the industry, rightfully pissed because everything, even though she's shown to be a competent director and writer, that everything she touches seems to now fall to dust. I don't know why. I just had this feeling in my gut that this game we're not gonna see this fucking game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, if there's anything good out of it, I believe this is being published by Skydance, which they're a massive company. Yes, it is Skydance New Media. So surely they can afford to let them cook, but I guess we'll see. Okay. Our next story here. We've got some Take-Two earnings information that we got, which has some interesting information in here, which is the first thing here. GTA 5 sold 5 million units since August.
Insane. This game is over a decade old, and like new releases would kill for those kind of numbers.
Yeah, that's insane. So it's sold life to date, around 215 to 220 million copies. Insane. Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 2 million more copies. It's at 104 million to 106 million copies sold. This is an interesting one as well. The Borderlands franchise sold 5 million more units worldwide, and it's just saying the franchise. It's unclear if, how much of that is Borderlands 4, because obviously they would have just said Borderlands 4 if it was just Borderlands 4. So kind of funny. And on the back of that, we actually got a statement from Take-Two saying they are confident in Borderlands 4. They're confident that Borderlands 4 will rebound after technical issues led to a little bit of softness for US sales at launch. So seemingly confirming that Borderlands 4 was a bit of a disappointment for them in terms of sales numbers.
Right.
But ask Randy Pitchford, he'll probably say, "Oh, this is the best Borderlands selling thing ever. Like, this is awesome." Like, okay, Randy, go back to sleep, Grandpa.
If you're a real fan, you'd buy 2 copies. That's
Works.
That's all Randy's gonna say.
Work 2 jobs, right, to pay for the higher price.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's stupid. And then the last bit here from Take-Two. Strauss Zelnick, the CEO, is teasing a bright future for the Mafia franchise after Mafia: The Old Country performed well ahead of expectations. I'm happy about that. I was very much enjoying Old Country before all these other games came out, and now my backlog is even more insane than it already was. So, Kirik says, "Nice. Me too. Hell yes." Okay. Our next story, Mass Effect's Amazon series will focus on an original story set after the original trilogy. That was a new blog post from Mass Effect boss Mike Gamble. He posted it on N7 Day. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of story they can tell in the universe. Now, it remains to be seen if we can get a new piece of Mass Effect content that is actually riveting, because Andromeda was not that. And I'm very hopeful for the Prime series. Hopeful that it turns the ship around for Mass Effect. We also got a little bit of a tease for the next Mass Effect game as well, which they hid breadcrumbs for this image all over the place, and fans pieced it together, which is an image of the Krogan race in the middle of a civil war, which seemingly will be included in the next Mass Effect game. Looks very cool. Very cool. Love the Krogan. People speculating, is it Grunt? Who knows?
Could be. Probably won't be, I would imagine. If they're trying to broaden their horizons. They don't. Here's the thing with Mass Effect. I want them to fall into the Star Wars trap, where it's like every new game, no matter if it's a spin-off or not, has to have like, oh, Luke Skywalker's going to show up. Darth Vader's going to show up. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see them just kind of really... Again, the universe is what's interesting about Mass Effect. You don't really need to tie yourself to these characters. I think you can make new ones.
For sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The possibilities, Gage, you could say, are infinite. And that brings us to Operation Infinite is Halo Infinite's final major content update announced by Halo Studios. So this update's pretty decent in terms of unlocks. So if people out there are looking for things to unlock, some people out there on the internet said that there aren't things to unlock on Halo Infinite. I'm Sheldon. There is a lot in this new update for you to unlock. They're doubling the career rank progression rate, doubling the rate of Spartan points being earned. There is 100-tier battle pass for the first time in a long time. It has a new ranked map, a new Husky raid map, and 200 plus new exchange items that people can earn by just playing the game. So get out there and earn some shit. As well as the 25th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved is coming up next year. And they also announced that if you play anytime in 2026 Halo Infinite, you will get a 25th anniversary nameplate, a Gen 12 vehicle coating, access denied armor coating, which the fucking armor coating looks sick. The green around the visor, fucking love that. I said that. Life Givers Hex weapon coating, Ring Breaker weapon charm, Zeta Emissary nameplate, Zeta Trailblazer nameplate. You will unlock all of that just for playing a match in 2026 for Halo Infinite, and we will send off our baby into the sunset.
If Guy were here, he'd say, "Oh, so they're trying to give you 15 free items just to play their game, huh?"
Okay, fucking Guy. Okay, imitation Guy. All right. So yes, Halo Infinite. What a sad day, but a sad but happy day because it means the whole team is working on whatever's next. Which I'm excited to
Campaign
see.
Evolved, right?
Well, whatever's after Campaign Evolved. The whole team's not working on Campaign Evolved. So, all right. Moving on from there, State of Play had some Japan announcements for Sony. We got a bunch of announcements here, Gage. I'm gonna be honest. I was putting this in here for Ro because I think there's a few things in here he would be interested in. I'm not sure that there's a single thing in here that either of us are interested in.
Yeah, I am more than happy to whatever you think in your brain that you're about to say. I'm probably going to agree with you and say yes.
Yeah. Let me just say they announced a gaming monitor with a DualSense charging hook. So there you go. If you want that, the rest of it, there's a bunch of announcements in there. So go ahead and go to the PlayStation blog and check it out. There's a lot of stuff in there. Just not anything like super big or anything like that. But I know Ro specifically would have been interested to talk about Coffee Talk Tokyo because he loved Coffee Talk. So it was cool that they announced that a spin-off title coming on March 5th to PS5. So that's cool.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Go to the blog for more. But also on the back of that, we have some PlayStation 5 details on how many consoles have been sold. So the PS5 has shipped 84.2 million units worldwide to date. Is on a hell of a run. As well as Ghost of Yotai has sold 3.3 million copies in its first month. Oh, Kirik's a fan of Coffee Talk as well. There you go, Kirik. Get that spinoff, Tokyo. All right, as if we didn't talk about it enough last week, Arc Raiders is back in the conversation here. We have quite a bit to talk about here. Arc Raiders has now sold over 4 million copies worldwide in less than 2 weeks. An incredible number. Shout out to Embark. Great shit for them. They also have reached an all-time peak concurrent count of 481,966 on Steam, which is the 25th all-time. They went up quite a bit, and I believe they posted on their socials that it was like over 700,000 or something in total. I think that's what they said anyways. I might be off a little bit, but yeah, very good numbers for Arc Raiders already.
Yeah, love to see it. I think this game is kind of it's interesting because I feel like it's so clearly like way beyond what they expected, but not to the point where it's like, oh, it's doing a little bit better than we expected. Like I think, but at the same time, I haven't experienced any server issues, so I don't know. This game, yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now, but I'm just happy for them.
Absolutely. Okay. We also have a surprise as well that Arc Raiders is cutting or has already cut the prices of their store cosmetics and will refund anyone who snapped them up before the new price went into effect on November 13th. So they announced in an update on their website. They said they heard player feedback saying we've reviewed our prices and made adjustments to lower prices where applicable. So it's very cool that they're doing this, and they said for any raider who has already made a purchase on the old pricing, we'll compensate you for the difference, and these raider tokens will be refunded back into your account automatically in the coming week, which by now should already be in place. So good on them for settling that out. It seems like every developer these days releases prices higher at launch and then lowers them.
Right.
And then lastly, I wanted to touch on this because this was one of my gripes with the game, one of my only gripes with the game, and that is Duos, which now Duos has matchmaking, so it will prioritize you facing against other duos when you go in with a duo. So much better. Feels so much better to play this in Duos now, and I'm so happy about this and glad that they did this very quickly. So very cool.
Yeah, huge. Like you said, the speed at which they're doing this, I think, is the most impressive part. Where it's like,
yeah,
I have to wait until like a season 1, you know, Q1
Update.
2026 to wait. Exactly, they just got it out right away. So yeah, kudos to them.
Kirik said in the chat, I've been debating on getting Arc Raiders. If I do, what system/console do you recommend? I would say just whatever platform you're most comfortable on, especially for a third-person shooter. So if you're more comfortable with a third-person shooter on keyboard and mouse, then I'd say get it on PC. If you're more comfortable on controller and want like that couch experience, I'd get it on, Xbox or PS5. I think this game is really well optimized, so honestly, it does not really matter which platform you get it on from what I've seen.
Right. The only thing I'll add to that, Dan is like 95% right. The only thing I'll say is that if you are good with mouse and keyboard, inventory management in between games, you will benefit from playing on mouse and keyboard. That's the only little thing.
Yeah.
But like it feels great behind the sticks. Like it is totally a game that like combat wise, you will not have any issues playing it on controller. But if you happen to already like playing keyboard and mouse and that doesn't bother you, you will see a little bit of an advantage in between games.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Kirik asked, is it crossplay? Yes, it is crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You just use your Embark ID and crossplay it up. It's also cross progression, right? I think you can log into your account on any platform if you own it on multiple platforms, of course. But
yes, as long as your Embark is hooked up to those systems, then yes.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Our next story here, the Game Awards will be live on Prime Video for the first time ever. Jeff getting a little big now. He's getting on Prime Video, which it's cool to give this or get this in front of more people's eyes. Like it's never a bad thing to get this kind of stuff in front of more people's eyes.
For sure, especially if it's like, somebody boots up Prime that day and happens to see a big banner and what's this? I've not even seen. Yeah, exactly. Casting a wide net. This is pretty cool. I might watch it there just to see how the stream does. I guess we'll have to plan that out actually, but
Right.
I would be curious to see how how it handles.
Yeah, for sure. And we will actually be talking about, I'll just eliminate this from the next week stuff and just tell you right now. We will be talking about the Game Awards nominations and predictions next week for next week's episode, because I knew how much news we had to get caught up on this week that there wasn't a prayer we were going to be able to do that this week. So stay tuned for that next week. Then we got a look at Super Mario Galaxy's new trailer, brand new trailer from Illumination and Universal. I gotta say, it still looks really good. I still like the visual aesthetics and that charm. Got that charm.
That charm. I agree.
And we got, is it Brie Larson's playing Rosalina, right? Princess Rosalina?
I have no idea. That sounds right.
Yeah. So that's cool. All right. I'm gonna save that one for last. NC Soft is making a Horizon MMO for Sony that is launching on PC, iOS, and Android. Horizon Steel Frontiers is a full-fledged MMO RPG that NC Soft has built specifically for mobile. And apparently they used a bunch of generative AI.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's playing this game? I don't know. I like whatever.
Fucking mobile gamers, dude.
Yeah, apparently. All right, our last story from week 2 is going to rival our first story as one of the bigger stories of the week, and that is Valve announcing brand new Steam hardware, and they are expanding here. They announced the Steam Frame, which is their VR headset. Essentially, you'll be able to play your Steam games on this headset if they're optimized for the headset, or you can connect your headset to your PC and play your game, all of your games, regardless of if they're compatible or not with the standalone version. So it's nice to have that option. You have the standalone or rigging it up to your PC wirelessly or wired. I think they said that it's a 6 gigahertz dongle, right? That connects to your headset.
Wireless receiver.
Nice. Hell yeah. It looks nice. It looks like honestly, the controllers look exactly like the Quest controllers, which is fine because they work great.
Right. That's definitely been the
standard.
From what I've seen from hands-on reviews is that they said, yeah, it feels the controllers feel almost identical to the MetaQuest controllers, but everybody's saying is that the headset feels a lot more balanced and a lot more tight. Tight sounds like a negative word, but not like that. Like apparently they've really balanced and cut down the weight. So people were saying that the ergonomics of the actual headset when you're wearing it feels really, really good. Which is exciting to me because I think that I personally felt that the MetaQuest already felt fine for me. I didn't really have issues wearing it. So now that reviewers are saying that this feels like way better than that is kind of getting me hyped a little bit.
For sure. Yeah. I never had an issue with the MetaQuest, but I also use the advanced strap with the extra battery, and supposedly that's a lot better than the standard strap. So, but I'm hoping that with this announcement, we get better like compatibility between headsets, like being able to, like, if I'm playing on my MetaQuest 3S, if I can like squat up and play with you if you're on the Steam Frame in a multiplayer game, like for instance our putt game that we play, Walkabout. I'm hoping there's like crossplay and that kind of stuff, because if not, that would suck. But especially since I already own a bunch of stuff on MetaQuest.
Right.
We'll see. And then they also announced a new Steam controller, which I don't know your thoughts, but I'm not a fan of this. Essentially, it has the two pads on the bottom, and it almost takes the shape of the Xbox 360 controller with the chat pad attachment. I think we were talking about this off air, and that space is dedicated to the track pads, which, whatever. If those trackpads are great, that's probably the best spot for them because your thumbs are right there. But like, it just feels super crammed. Like we've got thumbsticks in the middle, we've got the trackpads, we've got the D-pad, we've got the button. It's a lot.
There's a lot going on, and don't get me wrong, the controller is ugly as sin. It is like the most disgusting looking controller I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine that Valve, in its infinite wisdom, has like tested this. Like I'm curious to know if you put your hands on it and where your hands naturally rest, if you just kind of go like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Because it does look bad. It looks really bad. But I have to give them the benefit of the doubt where there's got to be a reason they ended up with this design. Because my first thought was like, holy fuck, what is going on here?
Right. I think, yeah, and I think I'm still of the mind, and I haven't used it before for full transparency, but like, I feel like I'm still of the mindset that the trackpad thing is not as like exciting of a thing as I think Valve thinks it is, because I still don't think you using that is better than keyboard and mouse or on par with keyboard and mouse. And I would almost argue that it's even kind of counterintuitive to what a controller is, like rather than just using thumbsticks, because you're essentially, it feels like, and I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it feels like I am using an iPhone and using the two sides of the screen to control, movement and look left and right. Like that's what it feels like to me, like in my head, like when you would be using those trackpads. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not tried the original Steam controller, which I know had like, I don't think it had any analog sticks. I think it was just two big circular trackpads on it. So I have no idea how those feel and how they don't. I would imagine they're putting the trackpad in there. Again, it's interesting that it takes the priority slot.
Right.
The reason why they're there at all, I'm guessing, is because to help with compatibility for games that don't have quote unquote joystick support, or to even help, like, I'm sure that using those, if you were playing Balatro, would be a lot faster than just using the stick. So you would go down to the trackpad and kind of, whip your mouse around. I mean, if it works like how I think it works. So I could see some bonuses for it, but again, like you said earlier, it's the fact that it takes up that priority slot where your thumbs rest. It'll be interesting to see if they've actually nailed the functionality to where it feels intuitive to actually use it.
Keurig says the OG Steam controller only has one analog stick. He said he has one.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I think the left thumbstick is there, and then the right pad for controlling your aim. Which to me, actually, that seems more sensical to me, because if you think about it, you're not like needing fine movements when you're using movement, like on your left stick.
Not to the same degree that you'd want with your aiming. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So it's almost like I almost wish it was that rather than like a combination of the two, because it feels tough to me for if you're wanting to use the sticks on this thing, they're in the fucking center of the controller. Like I feel like you're gonna have like an awkward grip around it. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to hear people's thoughts on it though. Okay, and then that leads us to the final one here, which is the Steam Machine, which Keurig says in the chat he's on the fence about the Steam Machine. And there's rumors for the GameCube, everyone's calling it the GameCube, is that it will launch with, no, I can't say that yet. That's our last story for this week's stories, so you'll have to hold on to that for a second. But yes, they announced the Steam Machine, which is their PC in console form factor and is going to run Steam OS just like their what's it called? Their handheld. Holy shit.
Oh, Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, thank you. I was drawing a blank. So it will run Steam OS just like Steam Deck, and we'll be able to play your Steam library, which is very interesting. We're diving further into a future where we have consoles or console-like things that are essentially just PCs, and it seems like Microsoft's doing the same thing, and it's exciting to see Valve diving in as well.
Oh yeah, Steam OS is awesome. Yeah, the Steam machine. It's so interesting because I'm hearing a lot of people online say that like it feels like something that is angled towards people that already have Steam and are just looking for a more simplified experience, which is an interesting way to frame it because I don't think it's entirely wrong. But at the same time, I feel like I can't help but imagine that they're at least, if not banking on it, kind of maybe quietly hoping that this will get more people into Steam that wouldn't be there otherwise. Like
Right.
there's gonna be people like Sheldon, right, who are like, yeah, the amount of games and all the indies and all these cool things you can do on PC, sure, but I just don't want the complication of having a desktop and having to deal with all this stuff. And
Right.
I have to imagine that this will work on that. At least those type of people might consider this.
Yeah.
With it being a very simple sort of plug in play.
Yeah.
Just worrying about Steam OS, that's it.
And there is a cost to that simpleness or simplicity. I don't know. I'm making up words today. Simpleness. There is a cost to the simplicity because you are losing a little bit where if the game is not on Steam, then you're basically SOL. Or like in the instance of an upcoming GTA game that's coming out next fall, you won't be able to play that on this device, and you may be able to play it on a Windows machine at some point in the future. I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know when their console's coming, but that was the report that they were working on a way to play Xbox games on PC. So there is some limitations here that I think are question marks. And then the price, what is this thing going to cost? Be interesting.
I don't... yeah, there's no official information. I will say, as somebody who follows Linus Media Group, that he had said firsthand that he had kind of asked a group of Valve people about the price and was kind of nudging them. And he's, again, he didn't say any specifics. Obviously, nobody would say anything to him specifically, but he felt confidently on his podcast to make the claim that this thing will be priced more like a pre-built PC and less like a console, which is, like you said, that's a big sort of question mark where it's like, I think we're out of the $400, $500 ballpark and more into the $700, $800 ballpark.
100% agree. Yep. 100% agree. I mean, we're agreeing on everything today. Is the fucking apocalypse happening? I have a coworker at work trying to tell me that this is going to cost $500, and I'm like, no, it's not going to cost $500. I guarantee.
Can I say something? They would light the entertainment industry on fire if they did, but they're not going to.
No,
they're not going to. Would it be fucking amazing? Would it cement Valve as maybe the greatest company ever? It totally would, but it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because the Steam Deck starting price is like what, $550 or something, and this is supposed to be
something like that. Sounds right.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be like significantly more powerful, like 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. So,
right.
All right, let's move into the current week we're in. We finally made it to current news. We did it. We're caught up. Hideo Kojima has announced Death Stranding Isolations, which is a new 2D animated series coming to Disney Plus in 2027. I can't wait to not fucking watch this. Sorry.
So aggressive, dude. And you
Dude,
know what? Here's me thinking to myself, am I actually gonna fucking watch this?
Oh my god.
I might, dude.
I watched
I've gotten bit by the Death Stranding bug.
I watched so many hours of, and this was what did it for me. I watched so many hours of you play Death Stranding 2 when I was there, and I was like, every cutscene, I was like, what the fuck is happening? And Gage's response would be, I don't know, but it's awesome or something. He would say something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this game? Like, I don't even know what this is.
It does. It makes sense in the end, dude. It doesn't. It does against all odds. It makes a somewhat amount of sense. And you know what? I will say it's funny to you that you say you've watched me play it for countless hours. I bet you your total watch time of me playing Death Stranding is maybe 45 minutes.
No,
Maybe
that's
45
not.
minutes.
No, that's fake
It
news.
just felt like eternity to you because you don't understand the finer gameplay mechanics.
Listen. That's fake news. Fake news. I've watched hours and hours of Gage play this game. It's a mid game. Mid. That's enough.
They're saying it's the most mid game.
Kirik said if they sold that little box for $500, it could hurt Nintendo as it could be used as a retro machine, making it possible to play Switch games. Scary but exciting. I guess, yeah. I guess you could jailbreak it or whatever, or install your own OS on it. I guess you could do that, right? So you wouldn't have to necessarily use Steam OS.
And you probably could get it, peel back the layers and get to either a Linux-based operating system or maybe even like if you wanted to be crazy enough, like you probably could install some sort of Windows on it, like if it's whatever the Windows Lite is or something like that. Like maybe you could do something like that too. But is it worth it to go through all the headache? At what point are you completely defeating the purpose of the machine, right?
Yeah. What the fuck is Windows Lite?
Not Windows Lite. What is it? Windows S?
No,
whatever they put on those stupid little Chromebook things, right?
Yeah, they discontinued that. That's not a thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was pulling from my memory of being a sales associate at Staples from like 8 years ago.
That's fair. That's fair. Microsoft did a lot of stupid shit back then.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. Ubisoft has postponed its earnings report and has halted trading of their stock. Could indicate a major announcement related to the company, possibly an acquisition. We did get an update today. I think that they said that they're close to announcing something. So I would say by the end of the week, we're going to find out for sure what this is. Probably some sort of acquisition for Ubisoft as a whole. Probably not a good thing.
And unfortunately...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead or me go ahead?
You go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, with the way that the world works nowadays, unfortunately, I can guarantee you it's either one of two acquisitions. It's either Tencent or it's the UAE, because that seems to be the two entities that are buying up everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Our next thing here, Fallout Season 2 on Prime has a new trailer. We got some looks as well, some screenshots comparing the two from IGN. They had some good comparison screenshots that I thought I'd talk about here. They showed the Kings side by side showing up in this show. Rad Scorpions. Oh, delicious. Airships showing up in the show. Mr. House showing up. Power Fist. Lucy's donning the Power Fist. We've got Legionnaires, which Macaulay Culkin is part of. We've got a Death Claw, which people have been excited to see introduced into the show. And we got to look at the New Vegas Strip. We got to look at Securitrons as well, which are the little security robots. So very, very cool. I love the trailer. I'm very excited for Season 2.
I love that I went through all the effort of not watching the trailer because I was like, I'm going to save a little bit of surprise for myself. And then here you are listing off every single thing that can be seen in the trailer.
You should have just muted me. I didn't know that.
I should have. Yeah, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. The first season was pleasantly surprising. It's very cool. We talk about this all the time with adaptations, and I feel like this is just one of those adaptations where it was like, oh, the person who's spearheading this adaptation actually likes the source material. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Jonathan Nolan definitely seems to very much care about it, which is awesome. And while we're on the adaptation train, somehow this fucking adaptation is on to season 3 on Peacock. It has been announced that it is returning for season 3, and that is Twisted Metal, the series. That was not on my...
Do I need to watch the first season of this? Like, how is this still...
That was not on my bingo card for this series to actually be doing well.
Right.
All right. Gage, you have been clamoring for a Red Dead Redemption remake something. I have great... No, I don't. Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare are coming to Netflix, iOS, Android, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2. But it's not a remake, not a remaster. It's been, well, I guess depends on your definition of a remaster. It's essentially just an up-resed port of Red Dead Redemption. But nice to have it on all the platforms now.
This is really great. Hey, Rockstar, when you're done firing your employees for wanting better work-life balance, can you go ahead and give us a current day port for Red Dead Redemption 2, please, for the love of God?
And use the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine. Keurig said, Windows CE, I bought them out. Loot boxes are back. Incredible, Keurig. All right, the next announcement here, Xbox has a partner preview that has been announced for tomorrow. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It is happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on November 20th. We're going to see sneak peeks at third-party titles like 007 First Light, Reanimal, Tides of Annihilation, and more. I've seen people hyping this up, saying stay tuned for it, so... Hopefully it's got some cool stuff in there. Krafton's CEO is up to doing some gross things with ChatGPT. Reportedly, he asked ChatGPT how to get out of paying Subnautica 2 studio co-founders their bonus. New filings accuse Krafton of engineering an illegal takeover to save money. They are claiming that it wrongly terminated Unknown Worlds co-founders were fired out of the blue earlier this year and have been suing publisher Krafton ever since, claiming it wrongly terminated them to avoid paying a $250 million bonus if Subnautica 2 hit certain sales milestones. The studio's co-founders now claim in new filings based on discovery during the legal process that Krafton engineered a takeover only after it failed renegotiations of lower bonuses. The publisher's CEO allegedly even consulted ChatGPT to try and get out of the massive payout. A copy of pre-trial briefings recently filed on behalf of Unknown Founders includes new evidence that they say vindicates their side of the dispute, namely that Krafton was well aware of their ongoing roles within the company, that they weren't directly leading Subnautica 2's development, and that concerns about delaying the top wish-listed Steam game over missing content only arose after Krafton got worried about having to make the $250 million payout it agreed to back when it acquired the studio. Yeah, not good. Not good at all.
This fucking game, dude. This game has been what a behind the scenes sort of shit show with this, where I feel like I've been following the story and it's like at the very beginning it was like, oh, fuck Crafton for firing the heads of it. And then something came out where it's like the heads of the studio were like working on competing games, and then everybody was like, oh, okay, Crafton's a good guy. And then there's another update, and now there's another update, and it just keeps going back and forth. But I will say, if you're the CEO of a publisher and you're consulting with ChatGPT on how to scam your workers out of money, it's very hard for me to sympathize with you going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not good. That's gross as hell. That's asking ChatGPT. I don't even. Insane. All right. Moving on. Epic and Unity have announced a partnership and are working together to bring Unity games to Fortnite and to bring Unity's cross-platform commerce platform to Unreal Engine. Together with Unity, Unreal Engine says on their Twitter page, we're working to advance the open, interoperable future of video games. This is another crazy story. These are like two big competitors against one another, and they're coming together to essentially merge technologies. Kind of crazy that this is even happening, to be honest.
Right.
All right. And the last story here is, of course, the one we were alluding to earlier that Kirik brought up, which is Half-Life 3 rumors have continued to heat up. And a lot of people are thinking, hey, they're releasing these new Steam machines and Steam devices coming out next year, early next year. And a lot of people are proposing, believing that Half-Life 3 is coming out early next year, despite it not even existing at the moment. So very interesting, but just to go through a little bit of this, Half-Life 3 rumors have shown data miners pulling crumbs from various Valve releases over the last few years of what seems to be an in-development game internally at Valve known only as HLX, using Source 2. Data miners have worked out that it's a full-fledged, non-VR Half-Life game of some sort, and it's been in the works since at least 2021, but probably earlier. That game is possibly the same one that was accidentally leaked by a voice actor in 2024 who referred to it as Project White Sands. But this year, there's been a marked increase in little breadcrumbs. Right after the new year, G-Man's voice actor issued a cryptic post teasing unexpected surprises in 2025. And it was his first tweet since he congratulated Valve on Half-Life Alyx in December 2020. Fans went ahead and tore apart that post, etc., etc. Let's see. There are so many weird little indicators floating around that are leading to wild speculation. For instance, Valve's upcoming releases tab on its own Steam page only lists one game, which is Deadlock, despite the sidebar indicating that there are two upcoming game releases. An tweet/X post, whatever you want to call it, from the official Game Awards account has commemorated Half-Life's 27th anniversary today and has sent everyone into a frenzy, even though it tweets this anniversary every year. Yeah, the Game Awards account does that all the time. There was also a weird amount of extra security at Valve during the recent Steam hardware preview events, something noticed by IGN's own representatives, and contrasted with their own personal experience there for Half-Life Alyx a few years ago. So yeah. And then there was an incredibly silly saga where Jeff Keighley posted a screenshot that showed he had one game in his Steam wish list. When asked what the game was, he responded with an eyes emoji. Of course, the Half-Life nerds pounced. Keighley then posted a screenshot of his wish list showing only the game Dad Olympics. But notably, this was added on 11/18, which is the same day he posted the screenshot, suggesting he's hiding something. Is he hiding Half-Life 3? Maybe. So yeah, a lot of people with the Steam machines being announced. Maybe it's going to be a launch title.
That would make a lot of sense, right? And as followers of Podcast PXN would know, from the beginning of this year, I've been saying Half-Life 3 is coming. It's coming.
Hang on, finish that sentence. It's coming.
And it is coming.
It's coming.
It is coming.
This year?
It is coming. No, no, Dan. It appears it's going to launch with the Steam Machine, which is Q1 2026.
Oh, interesting.
But my balls were right. The tingling in my balls were right. It's just instead of directly north, it was just a little northeast, is all.
Yeah, so you weren't right then. You weren't right.
So I was right, and I am the Lisan Al Gaib, and I had the vision, and I saw it when nobody else did.
Really? What? Hang on.
That's all that matters.
What about the vision about Arc Raiders? Did you have the vision on that?
I did have the vision. I was just too slow to the vision.
Weird.
I was too slow to act.
Yeah, because I picked it up the same day, the same week we played it, right? Oh wait.
Oh my god.
That was a callback to the last episode we had. All right. Okay, that's our stories. That was a lot. We had a lot of missed stories from previous weeks. Thank you for staying awake for all those stories. But now we're going to dive into the fantasy draft check-in and see where we are at. And I know Mr. Christian Macias has done a couple of things here, which is so fucking funny to me. And we'll explain why here in a second. November 9th, 2025, Christian Macias, Rose Devil Gaming, picked up the game Routine with a bid of $3. So he's adding to his team there. And he acquired a counter pick of Mina the Hollower with a bid of $3. I wonder where he got the idea that Mina the Hollower wasn't coming out this year when somebody was bitching in his ear that Mina the Hollower and Judas are not coming out this year and aren't being marked as such in Fantasy Critic. And yet, here's the man counterpicking it. He was arguing with me about Mina the Hollower coming out this year, and yet there he is counterpicking it.
He's not even here to defend himself. Damn.
Yeah, he's not. Sorry, Christian. So those are our activity pickups for the week. We also have some updates, though. I don't think we had a final score for Arc Raiders yet. So Arc Raiders is at an 87 on OpenCritic, giving me 17 points. Huge. I'm glad to be the only one to believe in Arc Raiders. Thank you very much.
Insane.
We also had Dispatch release, which was also my game, and that is an 88 on OpenCritic, giving me 18 points. I've actually been really intrigued to play this game. I don't know when the fuck I'm going to play it, but it looks really cool. And I like the voice cast, so I'm going to have to pick this up and play it at some point. And I don't think it's very long either. It does look bomb. Hell yeah.
No, I don't think it's very long either. The cast in that game is, it's totally stacked.
Absolutely, yes. And we also had Kirby Air Riders get a release as well, which I had picked up earlier in the year and then dropped it, and then Ro picked it up, and it is sitting at a 78 on OpenCritic, giving Ro 8 points there for Kirby Air Riders. And I'm looking at Gage's list, and I'm seeing 2 blank games that he still needs to pick up and a blank counter pick that he still needs to pick up. And I still see a counter pick for Ro that he's got to pick up. There's still a lot of stuff that needs to happen.
Why don't you worry about begging and crying to the commissioner so that you can try and win the game?
He already told me I need to talk to Ro about Judas specifically, which is fine. And I'm sure Ro will come to his senses and believe, yes, that is absurd that they haven't marked Judas as a fucking delayed game when it's fucking indefinitely delayed. It doesn't even have a release date. All right. Anyways, that's my rant. So let's see where that puts us. Christian is still running away with first place at 209 points. He is in first with 13 games released. I am in second with 172 points with 13 games released as well. 37 points behind. I have no chance to come back. Rowe is in third with 134 points with 10 games released. And Gage, yes, of course, is in last with 133 points and 11 games released. You have one more game. I
should be able to hear you smile when you say that. That's the thing.
You have one more game released than Rowe, and you have one less point than him. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Incredible. Oh, sorry, I did miss this comment from Keurig. If Valve pulls this off, they will accomplish what Nintendo did not. Nintendo releases new hardware in Mario Kart World, but was not the killer app. I don't know. We just talked about the sales numbers, and it sold almost 1-to-1 for Mario Kart World. I saw people saying that same thing, but I mean the numbers kind of back up that it is still a killer app.
Right.
But yeah, the GameCube and Half-Life 3 could be a huge selling point for sure. Glenn says, Dan, why would you lie to us? You're not sorry? How was that, Glenn? How was that Glenn impression?
It's like he's here, dude.
Dan. All right, Glenn. All right.
Oh, wow.
Our upcoming releases, of course, Kirby Air Riders already has a score, but it comes out tomorrow for Row. Marvel Cosmic Invasion comes out December 1st for Christian's team. Routine comes out December 4th for Christian's team. Row also has Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on December 4th and Octopath Traveler 0 on December 4th. A lot of December 4th games. Holy shit. And then Row also has Unbeatable launching December 9th. And Gage has a game that is 100% not coming out this year. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, which I had counterpicked a long time ago. That game's not coming out this year. After that demo, that was a fucking disaster. Holy shit.
That was maybe one of the least fun demos I've ever played.
Yes. Oh. Glenn said, right. I don't know. Didn't sound like you were forming a question. And off there, bud, more of a pause you need. Glenn,
What?
you need to work on your sentence structure. Sometimes I read your sentences and I'm like, I don't even know what he was going for there. Right? I don't know. Didn't sound like you were forming a question. And off there, bud, more of a pause you need. Are you fucking Yoda? Off there, bud, more of a pause you need. Like, what the fuck is that, Glenn? That's
awesome.
He's talking like Yoda. Incredible. All right.
That's awesome.
Moving into what you got for me. Of course, Gage is playing Clover Pit, so
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah. I have played Arc Raiders and a bunch more Arc Raiders, and I have still not gotten back to Outer Worlds 2 yet, but I will 100% be getting back there. It may be my long weekend for Thanksgiving next week, but more Arc Raiders, still having a lot of fun with it, a lot of shenanigans. Fun little story the other night when I was playing with Gage and Christian, and we were extracting. It was the last extraction of the night, and I was just being silly. I was like, I wonder what happens if I stand in the doorway when the doors try to close when we're extracting. So I did. I tried it. Christian was closing it, or Gage was closing one of them, and I stood in the doorway, and what happened is the doors closed, and it pushed me through the fence out of the map, and I was on top of the train, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was stuck in between the two fences of the subway system, and I had no way to get out of there. I was literally stuck in there. I was screaming my head off for somebody to come help me. Nobody came. Nobody came, and I died
Nobody
there.
came. I think it's also worth context for the viewers that you decided to do this with like 2 minutes left in the raid. It would be one thing to do this fun little Mythbuster exercise with like 15 minutes left in the raid, but you decided to do it at the last possible second.
And without having a whole bunch of good stuff on me. I should have did it with a free loadout.
Right.
Oh well. Here's Glenn responding. No, I don't. I don't need to work on nothing, bud. All right, Glenn. Kirik said, don't feel bad. I bought Outer Worlds 2 and have yet to fire it up. I've played like the first 4-ish hours, I think. That was before Arc Raiders came out, and then Arc Raiders just absolutely decimated my time. So, Gage, what you got for me?
Whole lot of Arc Raiders, first of all, which, I mean, what more is there to say other than that? It just feels so rewarding to play. I'm at like 160 hours, I think, in just the main game, plus like 40 hours from the tech tests. So like 200 hours in, give or take, still having tons of fun with it. Just recently got my first legendary blueprint from doing a harvester, which was sick.
What?
Yep.
You did it without the boys?
I did it. I did.
Wow. Wait till I tell Christian.
That's fine. You know what? Somebody's got to be able to hold you guys' hand and guide you through the process. Now I know the way, just like I knew the way with Half-Life X or 3 or whatever it's called.
Except it didn't come out this year.
But I was close, and that's all that matters. I jumped into Black Ops 7 to play it with Glenn, and it is definitely just more Black Ops, more Call of Duty. I had a pretty good time with the zombies. I don't think that it's definitely not worth full the price of admission, but it was a fun time, and I'll probably jump into a little bit more of that while I have before Game Pass runs out. And then 2 indie darlings that I'm having fun with, both roguelites. Ball Pit or Ball X Pit, if you're enlightened like myself, which is a fun little brick breaker sort of. You got your little guy at the bottom of the screen, and you can launch balls that bounce off the sides of the walls, and you're trying to destroy enemy tiles before they descend from the top of the screen to the bottom. And then out of runs, I should say, you're upgrading your little hideout and doing stuff. So typical sort of roguelite stuff, but works very, very well. Having a good time with that. I don't think I'll get too crazy into it. I've played it for maybe 10 to 15 hours, and I think this is probably going to be like a 25-hour experience for me, and then I'm going to call it. And then Clover Pit, which is another roguelite, but based around slot machines, and you're trying to rig the game and get certain symbols with a higher percentage chance of showing up, and then you're adding modifiers to the symbols to just get more money and more money. Very similar to Blotro. Which very fun, very charming, cool art style. It does like the PS1, PS2 style sort of low poly stuff with a horror kind of vibe, which works really well for me. And also lights up the dopamine receptors in my brain whenever you get jackpots and you hear the little slot machine dinging. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Highly recommend Clover Pit if anybody likes roguelites on Steam.
Hell yeah. If anyone's looking to a sequel to Cloverfield, Clover Pit.
There's an item in Clover Pit called Cloverfield.
Really? Is there?
There is. There is.
Incredible. All right. that, I think, does it for our show this week, everyone. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Gage. Roshan will return. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
I'll see you in the Rust Belt.
Get your stitchers. Thank you, Kirik. Thank you, gentlemen, for another awesome show. Thank you, Kirik. You are the GOAT. Thank you, Kirik. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you to everyone watching us live on Twitch and YouTube. You guys are the GOATs. I don't care what Gage says about you guys. Bye-bye.
The Gabe Cube is awesome.